Let me even go live on Instagram and walla them a bit. Hopefully, I won't end up on Insta blog like yesterday.
It's your word. Good night.
Good night, Ada Blessing.
Okay, Daddy.
And the rest of you join us on Live and Dangerous, 10 p.m. to midnight every weekday, except Fridays. I'm smiling today. More good news. I've been dancing, that's why I'm sweating. More good news. Eh? Hey. Oluwalambe. You will not believe it. According to reports, more people have been apprehended. And this is just some great news right here. Uh, Two more Dowen College students and three housemasters reportedly arrested as police obtain a court order to remand students in a juvenile center. So the police have gone as far as getting a court order to remand the students in a juvenile center. And everybody here is saying, thank God. If you want to join me live, just reach out to me. Just say hello, hello. And I'll be too grateful to bring you live. Okay? This is actually amazing news. And you see, I was having a conversation with my sister today, and we're all talking about bullying. And I remember some not so fond memories I had of myself growing up in Ibadan. And to be honest, I was both bullied and I also did a little bit of bullying myself. Let me be modest by saying a little bit, because growing up in Ibadan, we thought it was cool to be hard man, And right now, we all know. Hello, can we see
Hello.
your face?
Trying to fix myself.
Uh-huh. So, like I was saying, growing up, I was reminded by some of my secondary schools that, hey, Daddy Free, is this one that you are shouting up and down? I hope you know you are not always a pastor. You're not always preaching. Oh. There was a time in your life when you used to were a naughty boy. And to be honest, I remember bullying a few students when I was in secondary school. But you see, our bullying then, I'm not making a case for us. It wasn't a good thing. But our bullying then was, hey, you hold your ear. And you see, I can't say that it's a good thing or it's permitted in any way, because it did make people feel bad. And there's also the verbal bullying. In Nigeria, especially in Yoruba land, you insult people with their body. Hey, Ribosheri. If you're Yoruba, you understand. Once that line is coming, they'll just pick something. See your ear, see your head. Do you understand? See your leg. So that alone is bullying. I remember me, I was very tall as a child. I'm still 6'1". So I was quite tall growing up. And I remember fighting a girl. I had to rack the girl. Look at someone here now. If I answer Hosh P24, this child, if I answer him now, I'll be on Insta blog tomorrow morning. So I will just keep quiet and block his destiny. Let me block him in this life and in the hereafter. Let me block all his descendants. Let me block everything that has to do with his genotype. Let me block everything that has to do with his gene pool. Let me shall block his family and let him be going. I know people want me to answer him so that I'll be on Insta blog again. I'm not doing. It's okay. So, like what I was saying is, many of us forget about the things we used to do when we're growing up and tend to just, Yes, you see, bullying in today's world is totally different from the bullying we were used to. I went to secondary school in Ibadan. Nobody, they never beat anybody to die. Oh. I don't remember anybody in my set being suicidal. My sister was telling me about some other people being suicidal in their set. My sister is about 8, 9 years younger than me, and I think I also owe every single person that I bullied, and we all need to come out and, you know what, apologize to those who we bullied. No, 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 no. Sometimes we also remember that some juniors were particularly stubborn and just rude. So you find yourself, and some. I was also very. Let me tell you, I bullied 20% of what I was bullied. We used to have some seniors, and I see them around, and I greet them now in Lekki. One day I hid my money in my shoe. One senior, you know those seniors that once you look at them, fear will begin catch you. The senior just said, "Hey, you come here. Where is your money?" And I opened my shoe, brought the money out, and gave him. Normally, seniors will check your home, where's your money? I had to, as he said, where's your money? I just feel safe. I don't give this guy my money, he could just flush me down toilet. So I just used my own hand to bring out my money, and I handed it over to him. I said, senior, sorry. So welcome, ma. How are you doing?
I'm good, Daddy Freeze, and you?
I'm fine. So let me ask you a question. Were you bullied in secondary school, or did you bully? Or both?
Uh, I was bullied, but I never bullied anyone.
You know your secondary school people are watching this live.
I know. I was bullied, but I did not bully anyone because I hate bullying anybody. And like I do tell my kids, I have 3 kids. I do tell them, don't bully anyone. Even in school, I do tell them, if you've been bullied, talk to your teachers, okay? And which they do. I said, listen, you have to respect everybody, regardless of the age, height, or whatever. Respect everybody. So in my own aspect, I was bullied in school. I was bullied in secondary school, actually. And it was a boys' house, but it was I never did boarding school. I was a daytime student.
Me too.
And my school doesn't have no boarding school either. But I was bullied. And I was stubborn then anyway, but I never let them get to me. There was actually a time the senior have to come to my class. When they were coming in, so I have like some of my classmates, they were like, oh, the seniors are coming in. I think they are coming in for you. And they were like, oh, just put your books, everything in your locker, lock it up, and they took my key away from me. And then this girl, she came up to me, and she held me by my shirt like this. And I was like, excuse me, what did I do? Like, what's the problem? And she was like, oh, you don't listen to us whenever we tell you to kneel down, whenever we tell you to do this. I said, you can't punish me for something I didn't do anything wrong, and you want to punish me. And to tell you, on that day, like, I fought with the senior. I have this mark on my feet that whenever I see that mark, I remember that day. So, and some subsequent ones happened. But when they saw like they can't bend me, they can't break me, what they did was to let me be. You understand? So my advice is, if it is something you cannot do, you cannot face them, you cannot fight them. Talk to your parents, talk to your teachers. Bullying is something that I don't think it's gonna stop.
So, okay, totally agreed. Let me bring Nene here too. Nene, how are you doing?
I'm in America. I live in Boston. So it is something that is not going to stop. I have seen so many people, out of bullying. At the end of the day, these students kill themselves.
Yeah. You see, let's not use today to go into how bad It is. We all know how bad it is and the far reaching effect. I want us to do a bit of soul searching today. Let us all try to remember, were you bullied? And did you bully anyone? Nene, don't lie. You know God is watching.
Yeah, no, I was a bully, but at that time we just make it like it's fun. Like someone would say,
But people got hurt. Let me tell
Say?
you, I said people got hurt. Let me tell you a story.
Yeah,
There's a
those
guy
days
I
a
used to
lot of
bully.
people call you names.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think calling us names is part of bullying. But I think the worst part of bullying is when you try to beat somebody.
yeah,
That is the worst part. I think with calling of names, I know like so many people will like try to ignore it and move forward. But when it comes to like physical touch, touching somebody, I think that one is unacceptable. Name is not good. I'm not trying to justify the calling of name. It's not good either.
And now we need to also understand the far-reaching effect of bullying. Even right now, the government bullies the citizenry, religious leaders bully their congregations with threats and with all sorts. We were bullied by our parents. Hey, we need to, our parents bullied us.
yeah.
Yeah.
We can't run away from that fact. We can't deny that fact in any way or form. Somebody says they want to join Africa's Pride. Send me a request. I have to remove someone to add you. Muna Dima, my darling, let me remove you so I can add somebody else. Please send me an invite. Let me bring you. African Pride. Okay. Nene.
Yeah.
Where did you go to school? What country?
Say?
What country?
Sierra Leone.
Hi.
Hey!
The phrase, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
So you both still pay me.
Uh-huh.
So, I've been reading everything that's going on. I'm just going to give my 2 cents on what's going on. I totally agree with you at the phrase at the beginning when you say you did a little bit of bullying and you were bullied too, okay? And then the lady, I don't mean to disrespect her that I was talking before, I don't know her name. There's a lot that's going on. So whether you look at it from the kids' perspective, the school perspective, and from what is going on today, what happened to that young kid's events that was wrong?
In any way or form.
It doesn't matter how you think about it. I'm a mom of 3, 24-year-old, 22-year-old, and an 18-year-old, okay, 3 girls. You live in America. Where do you start with bullying? As a clinician, a marriage family therapist, I've sat down with parents. I've sat down with children. I've sat down with the bullied. I've sat down with the person that's bullying. It's a lot. Yeah. It's a lot on the plate. And if you grew up in a home where you were bullied, because don't forget that we learn from our parents.
Yes.
Children absorb like sponges. They take everything. Children don't do what you say don't do. Children will do what they say you do. Like they say, the fish stink from the head down. If I'm a parent who's a total bully, what do you think I'm going to bring out as an offspring? A bully. If I become my child's friend instead of the parent, what do you think is going to happen? My child is going to go out and act crazy. Sometimes parents talk. I know people are going to say, it's not my fault. To some level, it has to do with us too, because they look at us, okay? When you go out, when you bully somebody, like they say, when you grow up and you grow up with certain, that if you said something, as we grew up with with Nigerian parents, we're bullied. But we didn't look at it like that.
We thought it was normal.
You got to do it, and you got to do it now. No questions asked. Okay? And you don't go out as a kid. The fraternity we have in America is different from what we have in Nigeria. Fraternities in America, it's made for kids to come together. And correct me if I'm wrong. They come together, they be in a place where they all speak the same language. It's like we're a team and we're a tribe. When I'm here, I feel included. I feel like I'm doing something with my people. That's fraternities. But back home, totally different. Now they took it to high school, secondary schools. And if I remember correctly, this kid was beaten because he didn't want to be a part of the cult.
That's the narrative. We don't know how accurate that narrative
That's
is.
why it's confusing because if it's bullying, let me don't lie, bullying is in every school, everywhere.
Correct.
But joining cults is a whole different thing. Bullying is everywhere.
Growing up in my secondary school, there were no cults.
Yeah.
I went to ISI in Ibadan. There were no cults. Nobody in my secondary school was a member of any cult.
No.
Let me tell you how bad it was. For you to be a cult member those days when we were in secondary school, you have to be in a. You see, now I hear say Okada rider, they blend Okada rider inside Confra. No, I didn't hear. Oh. Those days, part of what you had to have to be a cultist was you had to have a university admission.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's true.
So that's where it's come that society is contributing to all of this. These kids are seeing these people from college doing it. And they think it's normal. We're in secondary school, we should do it. So I think the society is contributing to all of this stuff going on. Because these kids, they're going on the internet. They're seeing what like people in the community are doing, people in other schools are doing. They're copying the same things. You know, some kids, they don't copy, but you have some kids, they copy what they see around them.
Mm-hmm.
So we, as elders, we are contributing to these kids going back to the society. Yeah.
Where are the teachers, though? I'm not there. Where are the teachers?
Now, I want the gentleman just joined. The gentleman, please share your 2 cents.
Hi, Daddy Freeze.
Hello. Please introduce yourself.
I went to school in Nigeria in 1979, and I remember I was in boarding school, Government College Ojo, and I remember that the senior student bullied me. You know, it was one of those where we used to sit in the dining room, round tables, and there were 6 to a table, and the junior students had to serve the food. And it started from this senior student saying, I gave him less. So he took my meal. After eating, went back to the dormitory, got me to bring out all the provisions that my parents brought me. And then those days, it was more like corporal punishment as opposed to beating. It was corporal punishment. And I remember after he finished with me, I just left school, caught a bus, went home. I went to get my dad. I remember this. And my dad came to the school, went straight to the housemaster, told him what had happened, and my dad actually went to confront the senior student and told him, if I ever hear anything happens to my son, whether it be from you or from anyone else, I'm coming looking for you. Now, this is something that I know it's always happened. It's always happened. It happens in every facet of society, whether it be in the workplace, whether it be in sport, whatever it might be. But if we allow these things to keep going on and nobody challenges it, because what seems to happen is, what I notice is a lot of people don't get bullied because they're for fear of them getting bullied themselves. The idea is, if you call it out when it's happening, the more people that challenge it when it's happening, the better it will be for everyone. But, as someone so rightly said earlier on, it starts from home. People learn these things from home. They see dad calling mom names, dad talking down to other people or to their housemaids or the servants. You know, as a society, it's something that's so embedded in every facet of what we do. I'm not telling you what the answer might be, but an example has to be made from someone. There has to be an example made, especially in this case of what's going on now. This is just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more going on that people don't know about. And as you so rightly said, in my day, there were no cults in secondary schools. I don't remember there being cults in secondary schools. The cults were within universities. You know, all of a sudden now, as you so rightly said, even the Okada riders, people like cults. I live in London, northwest London. I've never heard of anything like that until you said it earlier on.
Now, we're also using this as an opportunity for us to also come out clean. I remember bullying a few people, and I'm really embarrassed about it right now. Of course, it never involved physical or
Yeah.
extreme. Let me just say extreme physical. How do you put it? Kicking somebody till or giving like we're seeing now. It doesn't mean it's better. It just means that we all have things we're not so proud of. And I remember one young guy that I used to bully was my junior. Today he's a senior advocate of Nigeria. Luckily, we made up. I don't remember how we made up, but we're able to make up back then because I'm sure now he'll have come looking for me. So we all also need to search ourselves. Many of us are passing that. You don't know you bully your kids.
Yeah.
It's a typical Nigerian thing. The average Nigerian parent bullies their children, and we were raised by bullying. Your parents will tell you this is how it's going to be and this is how it's going to be, and if you don't do it they'll frustrate you. So how do we move away from that narrative? Let me tell you, this parent bullying children is not going to stop with us. Probably going to stop with our kids or their kids, because if we raise them, I have 19-year-old going on 20-year-old children, and the way our parents raised us, the way we also raised them, hey, no, shut up, this was going to happen, which to a large extent is bullying. So I don't know of anyone who wasn't bullied by their parents. Nene, were you bullied by your parents?
No, my parents were quiet, so no, I was the stubborn child, so.
By quiet, do you know bullying includes go and wear your clothes? This is the church we're
No,
going
they
to
didn't
go
do
to.
to me.
Listen, freeze. In the
No.
Western world,
Someone said it's not bullying, it's discipline. Nigerian version of discipline is
I'm doing
bullying.
it to my kids though. Like sometimes I'll tell them I'm guilty of that though. I can't lie about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
you know what they
sometimes,
do, freeze? A
yeah,
lot of what our parents do to us would be classed as child abuse.
yes,
A lot of what they do to us would be classed as child abuse. And I think
Totally.
it's embedded in our culture. There is not the same mandate as in the Western world, whereby there's certain things you can't do to your child. We look at it as part and parcel of growing up. That's what was done to our parents. That's what our parents did to us. What makes it even worse now is everybody has a camera phone.
Correct.
People film this stuff and they post it.
Yeah.
You know, before, when these things happen, it was hearsay. You know, it's just a story you're telling about something you saw happen. Now it's being filmed and it's being posted. And if us as parents are very much aware of what's going on and we see posts like this, we should call things for what they are. Not leave them to, oh, that's my child, you know, I don't want anything to happen to him. I'm not going to say much about it. We should call it out because it is child abuse. You know, and I'm being honest with you, it was like that for me growing up. And the one thing I always promised myself was I wasn't going to treat my kids the way my dad treated me when I was growing up. Now, I'm not going to blame him for this because he didn't know any different. That was what the culture taught him. That's how it was for him. I just happen to be somebody who has the benefit of growing up abroad. And I know there's certain things that are unacceptable. You
Correct.
can think very easily. You know, kids going to school. You go to school with marks, the teacher, before you know it, social services will be involved. It's so different. I'm not so sure what it's like in Nigeria, whether the system or society in Nigeria addresses stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now, I want to say something. A lot of people are saying, Daddy Freeze, you bully your fans too. To be very honest, I never bully anyone. You can't come to my page and insult me. You see, this is how I've always been since I was a child. You will throw a pebble at me, I'll throw a grenade. But I'm not going to throw first. You come to my page.
Totally. I agree.
You come to my page. Sometimes it's self-defense.
Response, right? When I see a verse from my brother, sometimes when people say, "Oh wow, why is he responding?" Guess what? What I see happening is folks forget that there's always an action before a reaction.
Yes.
You can only push somebody so much. And come on, so I like about it. I could block you if you start acting or disrespectful.
Me, but you see, sometimes when I block
After
you,
growing in Nigeria, my dad was a cop, so I was whacked to shape. When you said that you whack somebody to shape, that's what it was. And I agree with my brother that totally said something about And some of the little things parents need, for example, grind that pepper first, cook the soup, come back, and then sometimes you get in trouble, you cry, you don't even need the food. That's bullying. Your dad would yell at you when they say yell at you to tell you something. That's bullying. I remember there was a day my husband called me. He's like, babe, okay, you need to talk to our oldest daughter. She was 21 at the time. I was like, honey, what happened? Was she being disrespectful or was she challenging your thoughts? Because don't forget, where we grew up, your dad is talking, you're quiet. You don't say a word. I go, we didn't raise them like that. She got to tell you how she feels. That's a grown woman and she's 21. When they get their point across, we live in a different society. Kids need to be able to get their points across to tell you what they want to tell you. It could be little thing as when we were growing up, where you going, you don't have to go there, you don't have to be with your friends. Dad, I just want to. The insights, no. So they're different things. There are different ways of bullying people. It doesn't have to be like you take a cane and you spank that kid. No. You could bully your kids by, when you're bullying your children. You know that. We know that. There are different ways to do it. You don't just have to take a whip and say, I'm going to whack you to shape. No. There are other things you do. And we got to lead by example, whether good or bad. We got to listen to our kids. When we're wrong, we let them know, honey, you know what? I blew it. Because our parents didn't do that. If your parents did that, please tell me. I don't remember my cop dad telling me, I'm sorry, honey, I did wrong.
They're never sorry. They're always right.
Children know that. When they're wrong or when we're wrong, let them see that. Let them see our vulnerability. That when we're wrong, we can tell that we're wrong.
Let me tell you.
Is discipline bullying too?
You see, Nigerian version of discipline is bullying.
And setting a child's right. Let me tell you, one teaches behavior, the other doesn't. If you're disciplining a child, you're teaching them to change their behavior. If you're punishing a child, it doesn't change anything. The difference is, I'll give you an example. If my child is constantly watching TV and not doing their homework, right? For me to discipline that child, I'll let that child know, in order for you to watch TV next time, you got to do your homework. Finish your homework at 3, you can watch TV from 3 to 6. I'm teaching an example, it teaches a behavior. But if I want to punish that child, I take that TV out of the child's room, right? You ain't going to watch it anymore. But the child can come to the living room and watch the TV, right? So it doesn't change any behavior. So those are two different things. And also, it has to do with your level of anger. If you whack a child because you're angry, you're not disciplining that child. You're angry and you're punishing that child. You're putting the anger.
We've all done, you see, living in Nigeria makes you susceptible to that. Anger transference.
Yeah.
The society will annoy you. And then sometimes you end up transferring that anger.
Yes.
That is so true. That is so true. Anyway, guys, I didn't mean to have this for a really long session. So thank you so much, all of you.
Really good.
Thank you.
Before
Yes.
I go,
Yeah.
something I need to say to you.
Okay.
I don't think you need to, what you said earlier on about when people say things that you find unhelpful, you lash back at them. Honestly, I don't think you need to do that. Your way of expressing yourself and what you present, I tend to watch you most of the time when you come up on my phone. It speaks for itself. There are quite a few uncultured people that come up and express themselves.
Right.
It's born out of ignorance. Honestly, you don't need to demean yourself.
You know, sometimes the way I am, now let me explain this to you. You also, when you're facing the public, often, you also have to consider your mental health. And I've realized that when people come and talk me down, it affects me.
Okay.
It affects me. It affects me emotionally. I get upset, I get angry. So, but when I lash back, I transfer that anger back to you.
Yeah.
And that way I don't remember it.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I go overboard, like I went overboard yesterday, I now start feeling a bit bad that, okay, maybe I shouldn't have hit him that hard. But you see, there's some people who have it coming. You jump on somebody's live and you type something insulting.
Yeah.
You know, you're not caring about that person's mental health, you're not caring about how that person's feeling, you're not caring about anything. And then it's not like you even drop one line, just insult the person and even be going. You are now there engaging people in the comment section. Let me tell you how wonderfully it works. I catch one scapegoat and I give that person a dressing down. Everywhere is calm. I don't do it at maximum I do it twice in a live. Once I catch someone, because I know my mouth is not good, once I catch is you I catch. By the time I'm done with you, everywhere will be calm. Nobody wants to collect the wrong end of the stick. So it also, I know it is wrong, but I've also learned one thing. Don't, in my bid to be polite or mature, don't let me heap other people's emotional trauma on my own head.
Yes.
And then I go around walking around absorbing everybody's what is it called? Remember that in an average Nigerian pastor will climb the pulpit and talk nonsense and nobody dares challenge them. Literally, people would say amen to them. But Daddy Freeze will talk, you come there, you think you can shut him up, you say all sorts of nonsense. And let me tell you, there was one guy one day who came to my page and said really nasty things. I just went to his page. The guy's head was like 5 people's head. I just took a picture of the guy, just put him on my own page, and wrote one line under, "Thank you, head of state." Like 1,000 people came out, and you see, I felt good. I'm like, oh, enjoy it, see how it feels. I felt good when they were bashing him, when they were laughing at him.
That is free. Some people are saying that's bullying, but me, I don't see that as bullying.
It's
I
not
see that
bullying.
as standing up for myself.
Yes.
When you say something to me, I have to stand up for myself. And bullies don't like that. When you stand up for yourself, they don't like that. But I don't see that as bullying. I see that like me speaking up, me standing up for myself, because you are trying to bully me. So me, I'm trying to stand up for myself and like telling you what I have to say to
Someone
you.
is saying that's bullying by saying thank you, head of state. No, it is not. When you see, you have to understand that bullying is not a response. Nobody responds by bullying. Bullying is an action. You come out at me, I respond. I don't have to respond on your level. I can respond on a level 10 times greater than yours, on a level you can't operate on. That's my response. And you are my trigger.
For me, and you, my brother, you respond to bozos as well. There's some people you just let go. Total bozos. Don't even talk.
That's what I was.
And I agree with you, brother. Because guess what? It takes some kind of. You're a very smart man, and it takes some kind of level of patience to get to that point where I think my brother was coming from, which is sometimes you're being quiet says it all. Like,
yeah, but here's my argument. When I'm quiet, I absorb your negative energy. I can't deal with it. It messes me up.
You can't absorb everybody's negative energy. Just let it go. You want to be disrespectful, I block you off with
It doesn't do it to me. To me, I need to respond. Nene, I don't know if you understand where I'm coming from.
I just laugh and say, my brother, let this person go.
Yeah?
Like, man, talking about his soul, spirit, and devil, and Jesus. Sometimes you're looking at the people, the congregation, you're like, how naive and how myopic can your mind be to grasp anything from the person that said they've seen the devil? Girl, bye, block, get out. I don't want to listen to you. Some, I was like, okay, that person deserves it. Others, that phrase, you know what? Let it go. Just block them.
My problem is it affects me.
Yes.
And we're not putting that into the equation. It affects me. It draws my energy. I am someone who operates on a certain level of energy. If you draw me down, you're going to mess me up. So I don't allow people to do it.
Got you.
I have to give, as you are giving it to me, if I give it back to you, I forget about. Now, here's the good thing about me. I've had people that have dressed down in a live, and that person says, Daddy Freeze, I was just joking. And we become friends immediately. I don't hold grudges.
Yeah.
Okay.
I only hold grudges when I can't respond. Then I now start building. But once you fire me, I fire you back. And I know that You have mouth, I have mouth. You can win, I can win. At least I've tried. Look at this girl. What's her name? Sonia Ogiri. I responded to the Two-Face Brimo beef. Sonia Ogiri insulted me. I insulted her back. She insulted me the third time. I insulted her the fourth time. After a while, she put up a post on her page. Somebody tagged me. I went there and I fought with the person and ended up getting into a conversation with her. Today, we are good friends.
Yeah.
I don't hold anything against her. She doesn't hold. If I can call her now and she'll join this live. Sometimes you need to express yourself. And that ideology of don't express yourself, allow them to bully you, I don't succumb to it.
Daddy Freeze, I hear what you're saying, right? The point I was trying to make to you is, I've never seen anybody go in a boxing ring and fight themselves. They have to have an opponent.
Oh, yeah?
You don't have to get in the ring. You don't have to get in the ring, is my point. When people give it to you, you have the ability to be able to block them. Listen, you're an intelligent man. You're a cultured man.
Absolutely.
Carry on your conversation with the people that want to listen to you.
Now, let me explain something to you.
1 second.
Okay.
Opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one. You really don't need to buy into it. Honestly, what you're saying, those that agree with you, agree with you. The fact of the matter is, if you're in the public eye, you should allow yourself to be challenged. You should allow yourself to have people question the things you say. It doesn't mean that you have to allow people to insult you. If somebody insults you, lock them off and carry on doing what you're doing.
Oh, I do that.
For itself.
I do that.
That's all I'm saying.
I do that. However, when you cross me, you get it.
I support that.
You get it. That is my motto.
Nene,
So I can sleep well at night.
But that's true. Our society, people will come every day and do the same thing.
Yes. How many people? When one person, do you know what happened? Nene,
If you want to get to that, if it's talk about tithe, we will pay tithe to these people.
Nene, let me tell you what happened. I was in a live with Solomon Bucci. You understand? And we were having like a discussion now. He's talking. I'm adding. He's adding. It's not like you talk for 5 minutes. Then you talk for 5 minutes. No, it's a conversation. We're interjecting. We're cutting each other off. And the girl kept typing, let Solomon talk. Then she started saying things like, Daddy Freeze, not everybody wants to listen to your... She was now getting very rude and disrespectful. And this is a conversation. There are two people having a conversation, and it's an intense conversation. Why are you trying to make it look like one person is winning? So what I did was I blocked this lady. Do you know I had to block 7 of her accounts?
okay.
I had to block, as I finished, she came with another account. Oh, you blocked me, Abi. You think you can blah, 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 block? Oh, 7 different accounts.
What does that tell you?
Now, if I had called that lady out, I'll just pin her and dress her down. She would not dare come. If she comes back with the other accounts, is to watch and be quiet because she knows I will catch her.
What did that tell you, the Freeze?
It just shows that people are ready to drag you in every and any way or form.
All right, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what it tells me.
Talking about bullying.
Hold on, then 1 second. Then 1 second. I'll tell you what it tells me. You not responding to her getting in the ring with her affected her a lot more than anything else you could have done. That in itself, the fact that you just thought to yourself, you're not worth me even exchanging.
Oh yeah, I do that a lot. But there's always this one person. You know what pains me is like, especially when I see someone who, for instance, do you know that guy that I put his picture up and said, thank you, head of state. He said, you are poor, lonely, and depressed. Those were his words. I still have the post. And I went through his profile. He looked poor, wretched, hungry, and depressed. And he is now trying to take that emotional load and dump it on me to make himself feel better. Blocking him is not going to have done it.
Transference. It's called transference.
Transference, absolutely.
Yeah.
So what I did was, what he dumped on me, I dumped back 100-fold. I now saw a really good response. First of all, he went and locked all the comments on all his pictures because people now came after him. Then his account went on private. That's the now he gets it. You don't just go on. You see, people are used to it. They go on this person's page and talk anyhow, and the person blocks them. When you come to Daddy Freeze page, oh, Daddy Freeze will block you 90% of the time. But there's that 10% chance that you're going to be the donkey of the day.
Oh, you boys say transparency. Who's that?
Daddy,
It's
please,
okay.
I have
They
one
won't correct
thing
you. It's
I
called
want to say.
counter-transference. Don't
It's
worry about it.
transference and counter-transference in psychology. I did a bit of psychology. He's actually right.
I have to say about bullying. Like my cousin, when my cousin came here in America, she was in the high school. They were calling her African monkey all the time. She'll come home and tell the aunt that these people are telling me this word. Then my auntie told her one day, see, I cannot come there as a parent and fight for you. You have to fight back. You have to fight for yourself. Trust me, I'm on live now. Maybe they will say, the day she started fighting them back, all those kids back off. They stopped calling her African monkey. They stopped calling her names. Sometimes you have to stand up to bullies. When
I
you
remember.
stand up to them,
I remember
they
a
stop.
story.
If you tell your kids, oh, when someone bully you, go tell the teacher. You know, sometimes these teachers, they ignore those kids. They don't look. But when you start fighting back, then they know it's a whole different thing. They'll stop. That's how my cousin, they stopped bullying her in high school. Yeah.
Now, there's this. I remember this story in my neighborhood growing up in Ibadan. There was this guy that they were bullying. His father was a babalawo. So they had been bullying the guy. One day the guy now went to his father. His father now cooked a ring for him. They called that ring anosari. That if they beat you with that ring, you start to run. And you run till you die. Unless a pregnant woman, they catch you and a pregnant woman urinates on your face. That was the remedy. I'm not joking. That is how they went to bully this boy again. The boy now beats the bully with the ring. Just one tap, pow, the bully started to run.
In some cases.
And you know, he will run until he's physically exhausted and cannot run anymore, and still run until he faints. So they literally had to chase the guy, catch him, and find a pregnant woman. So in a situation like that, at the end of the day, they can't arrest the guy because he used jazz and jazz is not counted.
Yeah.
You understand? But would you say he overreacted?
That's what I said about action and reaction. No.
You pushed this guy to the wall. Now, maybe what he didn't have was, maybe he didn't have a ring. Maybe his father was not a babalao, but his father was a soldier. And he went home and brought a gun. You understand? How do we know when we've driven somebody to the wall? You see, all of us need to now start talking to ourselves. Sometimes we are the bully. Sometimes we are pushing people to the limit. And when you push someone to the limit, yes, if they react beyond a certain level, they can end up in jail. However, you could be 6 feet under.
That's true.
So we also need, and in as much as, oh, Daddy Freeze, don't block, or Daddy Freeze block, Daddy Freeze, don't fire back, Daddy Freeze, fire back. Can we talk to those bozos to stop being a trigger? Daddy Freeze will not just come online and say, okay, Buki Sote, I want to block Buki Sote. I feel like blocking people whose name starts with B. I'm not going to do that. For me to want to block you, it's either you're being rude, you're being uncultured, you're being insultive, you're being vulgar, or you're passing your message across in a I can't even say rude.
Like animals.
Let me give you an example. Somebody comes to my page and says, what is this one even saying? Baba, if you don't know what you are talking about, that's a block straight away. I don't. Then he now gives his opinion. Now to people who are also fellow unmannered people, they don't see the fact that he's rude.
Yes.
They just see that he has a counter position and now say you don't block out. No, I block people whose parents failed to raise them. Listen, I am not your how do I put it? You know, when you're in school, you do your normal school, then you do your extra work. What is it called?
Extracurricular activities.
Not extracurricular activities. Still work, but extra work, like lesson, like extra moral.
Right.
I'm not going to take over from where your parents failed. It is your parents' duty to raise you. If you were not well raised, I will not raise you. Your parents rely on you. When they fall sick, you take care of them. If I fall sick, you will not take care of me. I don't need you for anything. I don't even need you to watch my videos. So you need a block or a clap back. Depending on the level of your, what is it called, will determine on whether you will get a block or a clap back. So we also need to address that. Sometimes we are the bullies. I remember when I first started preaching, because I saw that Nigerian pastors were very exploitative. I used to go really hard on them and call them all sorts of names and all that. After a while, I stopped. If I want to address a pastor, I never go to their pages. I make sure I address them on my page, and I address them unless what they said was really, really downright silly. Even then, I would still rather leave a sarcastic remark than leave an insult. So we also need, because the onus is still on us at the end of the day. That's why I said this particular session is a soul searching session. We all have been bullies at one point or the other. Half the time we don't even realize it. Sometimes the way we pass our opinion across is in itself bullying. Especially when you're in somebody else's space, whether you like it or not. Being on my live is my space. You've got to respect me. You don't need to play by my rules 100%, but you've got to at least respect me. You also, Daddy Freeze doesn't need to block you. You close the video. You don't need to watch Daddy Freeze. Don't waste your data on Daddy Freeze. Go watch Sesame Street or something else for your age grade. Leave Daddy Freeze alone. But no, you must be there. Yeah.
I don't mean to be rude or disrespectful. I'm leaving work. I'm still enjoying it. I would leave. Once I'm driving, my cut off, I'm still enjoying it. So if I cut off, that
we're actually closing, actually. This was my sign off anyway. Thank you so much. It was so wonderful having you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Thank you so much for having us. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Don't worry, I'm not going to pay tithe so you don't block me right now. Yeah? I'll pay later.
Don't pay any tithe to anybody. I won't block you, but don't pay. God will be the one to block you.
No, I enjoy watching your page. I enjoy it. Thank you, my brother.
All right. Thank you, my darling sister. Take care.
Those people at the airport. I came to Nigeria in October to bury my mom. All your folks telling me, please give me independence money. They wanted to warn your people at the airport to harassing somebody. Just that.
I'm sorry on their behalf. I'm so sorry. So final words from my dear gentleman and Nene. Let me allow you guys to sign off so we can close the feed.
Thank you.
Guy first. Even though it's ladies first. You go first, then Nene would go.
Yeah, Daddy Freeze, thanks for accepting my request. I actually quite enjoy. You're kind of like my link to back home. You're my link to back home. I keep up to date with what's going on when I
via my page.
So yeah, keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
I hope at some point in our lifetime, anyway, we notice some significant change. Okay? Take care of yourself and God bless.
Thank you too. Take care of yourself and God bless you too. Absolutely lovely. Thank you.
Cheers.
All right. A bit of soul searching this session was, and I'm so grateful to all of you who joined us live. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm trying to work on myself as much as possible to reduce the clapbacks, and also it would help me a whole lot if you also helped me by behaving yourself. So I don't need to block you and I don't need to clap back. I'm proud of the Lagos. We need to, you see, when the police are misbehaving, everybody shouting NSAS, NSAS. Now that they're working, can we also celebrate them? So far, between when that happened and today, there have been 5 students, according to reports, that have been picked up. So big shout out to Hakim Odumosu and his team. Awesome job back there. Let's hope this fire, this energy is still maintained, and let's hope that these people are brought to book. Okay? Elsa Pearl, I was trying to bring you. You said you were from somewhere in West Africa. I love to see you say something. It would be nice just to say hello and bye. And thank you, all of you. I'm also going to try as much as possible, like I said earlier on. And to those, whoever it is that I might have bullied growing up in secondary school when I was much younger and much dumber, find it in your heart to forgive me. Even for those who consider them, who believe that I bullied them on social media, even though I wouldn't just go to your page and just pick something up on you, please forgive me. Sometimes maybe you hit me out first and I hit you back with a double barrel and then you felt bad or whatever it is. Please forgive me. I don't want to be that person you see as a bully. Instead, I want to be that person you see as a human like you who has made errors. I thank God to his glory. Nene, thank you for joining us. I thank God to his glory. It never got bad, because you could have slapped someone and the person would have fainted, and then it would really have gotten bad. Okay? Of course, Elisa Pearl, I'm not going to stop defending myself. If you come at me, you would get it. So try not to come at me, and I'll also try not to give it to you. Okay? Jem Japheth, that's your husband right there. I know you, Elisa. I've caught you today. So thank you, all of you. Stay blessed, and I'll keep updating you with what's going on. Let's now we all need to understand. I was having a conversation with someone, and these boys, until they've been convicted, I'm talking about the boys who allegedly bullied the late Sylvester. Please, let's be careful not to put their pictures up. These are young children, they're minors. Okay? If they've been identified as bullies and then they've been convicted by a competent court, then we can put their pictures anywhere. But as long as it's still speculation, it's not right to put up the picture of a minor. So let's also keep that at the back of your mind. What we should do is put pressure on the courts and put pressure on the law enforcement agency to make sure we get justice. Okay? So, thank you so much, all of you. Do have a lovely night's rest. And forgive me if I ever bullied you in secondary school, on social media, on the radio, or anywhere else. I have a zero tolerance for bullying, and I pray that at the end of the day, we all are able to move away from it in every facet of our being. Love you guys. Stay blessed, and hopefully more updates, more positive updates tomorrow.